We could say what we'll do all day long unless we go through it. I mean, until we go through it.
That position hit different when you gotta buckle them shoes up and then figure out what's your next step gonna be. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell,
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Marriage is till death do us part.
Of course, marriage is till death do us part. I mean, for example, you were wedded in church, definitely the officiator would ask those questions and tell you till death do us part, and you say, yes, I do. So
when you're already in the process of dating, you know, fiance or fiance, whatever, you're already thinking consciously and subconsciously in your mind, this is going to be, I mean, that's what I would think. This is going to be it. It's death or nothing else. So it's just, I think it's intrinsically obvious.
Growing up, we were told that marriage is till death do us part. So I strongly believe in that. And my parents never divorced. All the people around me never did that. So marriage is till death do us part.
Can the disagreeers speak now?
Already the Bible said that it hates divorce. And also the Bible said that marriage is that do us part. But when I was growing up, I found out that two of my friends died inside marriage. I married at the age of 19. My husband started hitting me when my child was 4 days old. I move along with it so that the both sides will not hear. My parents should not hear. My auntie should not hear. But I almost lost my life inside that marriage. I tried to make it work. It could not work.
It still bothered her.
I seek for divorce. They said, don't go. It's okay. I know what to do. When the thing was up here, after 4 times of entering coma, 3 days. The first one took 4 days. I almost gone. Why waiting until you die? I will make an example with, I'm not mocking her, our singer, Ozinachi. I want to make it work. I want to make it work. She ended up dying. So why dying inside the marriage? Go for divorce. Let people say what they want to say. Save your head so that you can fight for your children when they need you.
All of you guys here is saying you think, you believe, but like, that's no strong enough reason to stay in a marriage. I don't think marriage should be a life sentence. Just as I decided to get married, I can also decide to leave the marriage. It should not be by force.
There are several instances that can come during the term of the marriage that warrants that marriage to end. I think she has mentioned one, which is pro-life. Life is the most important thing that we hold dear. You have the law at your side, and you also have religion at your side. Even in the Bible, there's a part where it says you can get divorced on certain grounds.
She said she married at the age of 19, if I'm correct. I would just like to say that I think, not with you, ma'am, but I think generally, with the data that has been presented, generally, that is the leading cause of divorce. I sympathize with people who get abused. I'm not saying it's right.
Every day.
I'm not saying it's right. Thank you. But based on the large number of divorces, it's minimal. If you check the data,
it's not even up to 40%.
Thank you. If you check the data, 11 cases of divorce.
The data?
It's from Forbes. The top 11 causes of divorce, right? Domestic abuse is on the 7th level. Do you know what's on the first? Lack of commitment, right? Domestic abuse is a bad thing, fine, right? But we can't use that excuse as a cure-all degeneracy.
You said Forbes. Where was the data sample taken from? Is it Nigeria or the whole world?
It's the whole world.
But if you look at the data in Nigeria, it's definitely not going to be the same in the US or in America.
No, but this is all
in the
UK.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying in terms of what you mean by, you know, you have to make a commitment. If you listen to what I was saying there's a commitment you make every day. I totally agree. What I did say was there are circumstances that come into play during that commitment that gives you an out. Marriage is the union between two people. That's what marriage is. It's not a marriage one person. So when the other person is doing certain things that are in some way going to affect your life in a negative way.
Okay, sir, but as human beings, right, we should always think with something at the back of our mind, right? This decision that I'm making, there's a probability it's gonna go wrong, but am I gonna stick to my responsibility? Am I gonna stick with my kids? Responsibility comes first.
You know, she said she got married at the age of 19, so I'll still want to go with that. Teenagers are not meant to get married. On a more sincere note, because they've not known anything. They are supposed to concentrate on their education. Before you get married, you need to have a good and wide knowledge about marriage.
Okay, so I don't believe that you cannot have a good and wide knowledge of marriage, depending on your age. Your marriage, your experience on marriage can come from what you see in other people as well.
Yeah.
And that is how our marriage has lasted for as long as it has. And this is speaking from two people who got married young. There are people who have babies young and they learn as they go. The same can be done for a marriage. There are people who land in top positions at corporate jobs. Seen it plenty of times. I was a senior level law professional at a very young age over adults who've been there for 10, 12 plus years, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And I was great, fantastic at my job. And I work in divorce law. Yeah, I just had, I had to disagree with that. He has some pretty strong opinions
the young one?
Yeah, and he's knowledgeable on the data and all of that, but he has some pretty strong opinions to be speaking to someone who went through a marriage and chose to get to a divorce, and he has not gone through a marriage.
Yeah. So
we could say what we'll do all day long unless we go through it. Until we go through it.
That position hit different when you gotta buckle them shoes up and then figure out what's your next step gonna be. But marriage. What do you say? Marriage what? Marriage is till death do us part sounds good when your marriage is doing great.
Right.
When your marriage is at its peak and everything is good, y'all living your life, y'all have your bumps here and there, but it's not nothing too shaky. Yeah, till death do its part, man. We thrive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything else involving that, if it's requiring you to die early in your marriage, I wouldn't put myself through anything or tell anyone to put themselves through anything. What's the name of that movie? I think it starts with an A. Taraji was in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I forgot the name of it.
If I'm not mistaken, but she married a guy and he had an invention that he really wanted to thrive with, and he was milking her because he just wanted to
all her inheritance.
He really wanted this thing to work. And the second, after years and years of sticking with this man, I'm talking about she was probably just about going hungry, wasn't able to do the things she wanted, no real vacations, everything was just below the below. She finally said, "I'm done. I can't keep giving you everything. I lost my house, if I'm not mistaken."
I forgot.
And then he moved on.
Twist.
And the woman that he got with,
lived the life.
He finally blew up. like that's difficult.
Yeah.
Marriages, bro, it's like people's relationships are so different.
Yeah.
I'm talking about mad different from fabric, like different.
Yeah.
It's cut from two different cloths.
Marriage is a marathon.
But what I like to mention is that, like, if you get in a relationship with a young lady or a young man, right, and then y'all do the courting thing, right, y'all just growing, y'all loving, and y'all experiencing together, y'all understanding each other's patterns, then you can almost kind of bank on whether you can spend your life with the rest of your life with this person.
Right.
And then entering that new stage of marriage can help you understand that we are not going to mention the word divorce. This is going to be a good thing. Whatever we got going on, we're going to thrive together. And yeah, that's how you get a good till death do us part type of ending.
Yeah, that is generally, but sometimes some people are good at pretending. You never know what's going to happen. But should a person stay in a marriage where it's to death do us part if they done moved in all these chickadees or chicken people
chickadees, okay,
and they cheating on you in front of in your house. Like, it's more than about just domestic violence that goes on. And
yeah, adultery is different as well.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Your bed has what they say, defiled at that point whenever adultery kicks in. You know, it's a lot of stuff we ain't gonna dive into. We just going off what they talking about.
Go check out part 1.
Yeah, please go look at part 1. Yeah, we're gonna dive into it. Let's get it.
Number 2, instead of divorce, I prefer separation. You see, separation is not divorce.
I'm a Catholic, the born Catholic. Stop the tell you, Madam, Oga, go and stay separately for a while. And then start attending counseling. Now, those periods where we are doing that, it's a period, it's a time for them to have a routine.
What is actually the issue? What is it that I am not doing well? I have passed through it. And I have come out from it boldly to now say that divorce is not the best. Someone else who also passed through the same stuff called me one day and told me, Madam, don't make a mistake to leave your home. Go your separate ways for a period of time, even if it is 2 years. Even if it is 3 years, just go on your separate ways. You will still communicate with your husband. Your husband will communicate with the children. You know, things like that. That's the period you will now know whether you truly love that man, whether that man truly loves you. Forget about love. Is there a little sacrifice, just little sacrifice I can do for the sake of keeping your marriage? Think about it. That same period that you are away.
You said you can go for like 2-3 years separation, which I have seen, I have done. Yet, instead of the person to change, he was adding more fire. I'm very sorry to say this. I'm a woman. When you love a man, don't show it to his face. He was rubbishing that on the ground.
I don't support that.
Please. Sister, he was thinking that I cannot go 2 months out of his roof. But as the Lord will have it, this is me here, 11 years. I'm still working strong.
Do you know, I want to tell you something. It is simply because you got married at a very wrong age.
Excuse me, excuse me. Excuse me.
Let me just address
this. I did not need this marriage. I did not just live when the marriage was 2 years.
I'm very confused. What makes you think divorce would have solved that?
Can someone listen to me?
We are listening, my love. We are listening.
She said she was in the room for 3 times.
Whoa, wait, yeah. I think the young brother just kind of like made it just sounds. It's like, so she's talking to a specific woman. This lady who has been through the comas and tried to leave and tried to slow it down and then come back and rekindle the comas again. She's talking to a specific type of woman. They have no experience at all to the level of, you know, physical drama, pain, and trauma that she went through. They can't comprehend it. They only going off of base knowledge. Like, oh, you getting fights with your man or whatnot? Okay, cool. Y'all get back together and work it out.
Yeah, and there are some marriages where the abuse is every day. Because earlier the guy said it's not every day. No,
he wouldn't know that though. He wouldn't know that.
I mean, that's why we can't generalize marriage. This topic of marriage cannot be generalized. It can't. It's case by case basis. That's why I said earlier, for us, divorce is not an option, but for other people, it should be normalized.
Yeah.
No marriage is the same. I have a grandmother who got married at 14. I know a lot of people in today's 2024 mind would be like, 14? Yes, this was old.
Man, hey, we're gonna talk some history. We're gonna talk history.
They had 13 children.
Man, they was getting married young at a point. Why? Because that was the lifestyle with how society was set up for them. I don't see how getting married young can turn into a full-blown abuse for years. Yeah. Not knowing who you was marrying at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you knew this person at one point in your life and maybe that was never their personality.
Or so maybe they just changed.
Something happened. Something happened.
Yeah, maybe they changed.
So I think they got to cut her some slack. She's obviously still going through it.
Yeah, because even though it's been 11 years that she's been separated, it still bothers her. And of course it will. She got married young. And I don't know if she said how long she's been married or whatever, but I know there's children involved. Like,
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna rewind. This is the first tap back I did today. Hold up.
I did not just leave when the marriage was 2 years.
I'm very confused. What makes you think divorce would have solved that?
Can someone listen to me?
We are listening, my love. We are listening.
I did not just leave. I did not just leave when the marriage was 2 years or 3 years. This was a marriage of 25 good years that I tried to push so that it can work.
Because you were married at a young age, so at that time you were already getting mature, so you were seeing the things that you now like, and then you are having friends that will tell you, oh, your husband shouldn't be doing this.
Nobody.
And you were talking back at that time.
I should take anybody's advice. I would leave the marriage when the marriage was
ma'am, I'm sorry, do you know that inside or outside of the marriage, that man, if he was properly motivated, he could have still hurt you. So the problem is not the marriage. Day by day, right, we have stalkers. Now, the stalkers, right, men that stalk women and women that stalk men. I'm not invalidating your experience, right? I don't stand for abuse. Let's get that straight, right? But I'm saying, at the end of the day, people die every day. Divorce is not going to solve that. Even if they divorce, it's not the full thing. I don't know. There are many probabilities, many variables in this world, but you never know if divorce was going to solve that in the first place. She could have died. He could have killed her, divorce or no divorce.
I have a question. If I have a little
thing this comment crazy.
Let's say, for instance, now you and your husband.
This comment is wild.
It seems like they're supporting separation, but it's the act of legally getting divorced that they're having a problem with. Now, I've seen some of our elders. They've been separated for 16, 17, all these 20 years, and they done got a whole new man, whole new woman, whole new family. Done started a whole new family. I've seen that work, but I've also seen instances like that where, okay, now this person done passed away. Now they have drama at the funeral about who getting the life insurance policy and all that, right? I really do feel like he's invalidating her experience. She said that she went in a coma 3 times. One time she almost died.
Is that not enough to seek help? I mean, what more she got to go through?
Why does she got to be attached
sounds
to this
like
man?
what he is saying is that with the level of beef, because it sounds like it's just, we're going to fight when we get around each other. Yeah. With the level of beef is on sight. So whether she was in a relationship and she got divorced, if he's seen her again, living her best life, on a date, grocery shopping, he probably felt triggered and want to repeat what his actions was.
Right.
But it's better to be a little distance than to live with the person and have to deal with it on a regular basis.
Right, and we've seen instances like that where there was divorces that happened and the person still went and attacked the person. Yeah. We've seen stuff like that, but then that's still a case-by-case basis. You make the proper steps to leave, or even if that don't work, I mean, again, we're talking about 2 different cultures, and I was going to say get into a program where you change your whole identity if it takes that. But again, we are talking about 2 different cultures, so I don't listen.
Yeah, I'm gonna just we're gonna let it go.
Separate, yeah. 2 years after, you find yourself doing better, communicating with your children, your relationship with your children is way better, financially you're okay, you're stable, mentally you're alright. Are you going to go back to the man?
I will still go back to my husband. Let me tell you why.
She wants to explain to me.
Let me tell you why. You see, this is a man I married with so much love. And I got married at the age of 30 years. And then I have known what love is. Then I understand the difference between love and infatuation. Now, this is a man that I know how he treats me. This is a man that I know that, oh, yes, he hates me, but yet he loves me. He brings out his heart to show me that love, really. I'm telling you the sincere truth. It's not about the fact that, oh, we are here and camera is on us. No. He showers me with so much love. But then,
he hits me.
I would definitely go back.
Divorce affects the children negatively.
I agree with the fact that it affects children negatively, but I would also like to state that divorce in itself is not tailored to affect children. Let me just put it that way. When you're going through a divorce, one of the most important things the court considers is the custody, guardianship, welfare, advancement, and education of the children. Anything else, as far as those children are concerned, the court puts it aside and focuses on those children to ensure that they come out better.
I want to talk about the mental aspect of, divorce affecting the children. There is no marriage without fights.
Marriage go through things. I do agree with that.
It is a bitter truth. Let us not deceive ourselves. Even in a family, you see brothers, sisters fighting themselves. Talk less of people who come from different jobs. So I'm now going back to the children. The children will say all these things. They will expect that, oh, daddy, why are you doing this now? Mommy, calm down. Mommy, go and beg daddy. Daddy, calm down. Daddy, go and beg. It has happened to me. Now, whereby the children now see, oh, mommy is going a separate way, daddy is going a separate way. The children they are not always happy. They are not always. 99% of such children are not always happy.
I think she's exaggerating.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm trying to say in this essence is this. Children from broken home, those ones that are just growing up, not the ones that have come into the world now that are so big that their ears are filled with divorce. I'm talking of children that are just growing. Talk to them. If you talk to these children, they will say, oh, I don't like the way mommy and daddy are living separately. They will tell you the truth from their hearts. They will go to school. Other children, sometimes they don't even want to play with them. They say, this one, daddy and mommy are not together. Oh, what will she come and tell us now?
I'll use my child as an example. I married early. I married at 26. I'm currently 29. I've been 3 years in marriage now.
Wow.
Yes. So within that 3 years, myself and my wife have separated countless times and we've come back together. So those times when we separate, so when I go there for settlement, when I see my child, I don't feel happy. Like, I feel like he would have been living better if he was with me, but he has no choice. That is where he could stay at that time. Like, one person just decides to, anyhow they want to dress them, or any school they want to take them to. I agree that the court has a say with custody, or how do they call it? But sometimes the court might be wrong. They might give the child to the wrong person. 90% of divorce affects the children more.
You guys are just throwing numbers out now.
Nigeria supervisor, the rate we want to give percentage.
I think you get the point.
But see, just the same way divorce affects children, yeah. There are children from like families that their parents are still together that are affected by that kind of marriage. Like, their children are begging their parents to go to divorce. These are things that I've seen firsthand.
If people are bad parents, that's on them.
Can you disagree now?
You said they're the bad family. That's on them.
It's on the children if they have bad parents. Oh,
that is crazy.
Listen, really think about this through the mind of a child.
Okay.
The parents want a divorce. Cool. The parents may go on, may live single, may remarry. They're going to move on from that divorce. Mm-hmm. The child is the one who has to deal with having divorced parents for the rest of their life. Think about graduations, having a family, having children. Think about the children that child will have. Yeah. It would not only affect the child, but it's going to affect their children.
Right.
They have to go to two homes. They have to deal with the parents' divorce after the parents have moved on. Right. And no longer have those feelings for their parents, for each other.
Yeah.
So it's the children who will have to deal with it for the long term.
Yeah, so it does impact them negatively.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a short-winded answer, though, at the same time, because it's common sense. Like, you got to be fair. Those children didn't ask to be here. Right. When the parents are going through these, trials and tribulations, and they're separating the child, it's going to be different for every single child.
Right.
But at the same time, it's going to hit similar because they have a psychological pain that they got to deal with.
Right.
Yeah, bro, that child is just going to grow up with a not knowing experience of what it's like to have two parents and to deal with those two parents separating. Like, if they're not mature enough for the child, then that child's going to have so many different battles you got to face at a young age.
And that is why it's important where if divorce is the only option for happiness, that divorce need to be taken care of properly for the sake of those children.
Yeah.
It depends how tender the children are. But if the children are grown-ups and they'll be seeing the beating, the fighting, the separation all the time, so many things are not working well, then they finally divorce themselves. It will not affect those children at all. Because they have been seeing like one person's life is going to go if these two are not staying apart.
I mean, what you're saying, yeah, I understand what you're saying. The children will understand that, like, the divorce is right, it was needed and all that, but I don't think that's enough reason for them not to feel it. I don't think that's enough reason for them not to get affected by it.
The children suffer a huge blow when it comes to divorce. They have a stigma. Wherever they go, they call them children from broken homes. And people see them as themselves. Children who will not, who cannot, yes, they are bound to like influence others negatively.
Because they think they don't have home training or any sort.
I have a question. First of all, yeah, I don't know where this myth came from, but people are always talking about like the effect of divorce on children, but nobody ever talks about the effects of like children seeing their parents harm each other. It does not necessarily even need to be as extreme as harming. It can be things like the parents setting unhealthy relationship ideas for the children and all that.
People change after marriage.
Yes.
I mean, you should.
You have your own personality, but actions you make and reactions that come about those actions form human beings.
We will just be pretending. Honey, darling, see that baby, they will call you all sweet name. That same man, that same woman will enter your house, turn things around. Even me, I was so angelic. But when you get to a point, oh boy, I removed that angelic cloth. And one side, I wear that black clothes because I cannot come and die, and my children I will not be able to help them. It's either you're changing for good or you're changing for bad.
That is true.
But you see, when it comes to the bad one, someone can be good and come into a marriage and meet a fire for fire mother-in-law. The person will change you.
You would definitely have to change some attitudes that you probably used to do before, but in marriage is no longer something that is feasible for the union. So those are like the everyday. Maybe you wake up 10 before, but your husband goes to work early and you want to prepare something for him. Or maybe your husband comes back after work, he goes to drink with his friends. Now he's thinking, now I have a wife at home, I have to come back home early. It boils down to even financial sacrifices when you start to see the nature of your spending changing. How you used to spend as a bachelor is different from how you probably spend as a married man.
I believe change is constant in human beings. It's normal, everyone changes. I don't think you even need to add it to marriage. With or without marriage, people are going to change, definitely.
Yo, this was a good one.
Yes,
this was a good one. We did do a part 1 of this one, so make sure you guys go check that out. Yeah, I do believe people do change and grow, or some people just decrease in marriages.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
Like you gotta just understand those two, concepts. Depending on where you at, you do have sacrifices that you make. That cocoon stage that you're coming out of. She's gonna learn. I'm gonna learn things from her. She's gonna learn things from me. We're gonna help each other build up. We're gonna create our foundation together. We're now prioritizing differently. There's a lot of things you gotta cut off that you can't bring it to your house anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do think that's a great growing pattern if that's the way that life is operating for you at that moment. But that's also sometimes where people just decrease. They don't know.
That ain't good.
They don't know.
That ain't good. I mean, a marriage is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I think I was about to say it earlier, but yes, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
You don't, perfect marriage. This is it. No, there's ups and downs. There's obstacles. You go through grievances during marriages. You have wins. You have losses.
Yeah.
So much happens. Whether or not you're gonna have children or not, so much happens. Career changes. You are going to grow. But like Dion said, some people decrease, and so I feel like you're gonna change, either good or bad.
Yeah, either good or bad.
You just gotta learn from the lessons and keep going. Yeah. This was a great debate.
Yeah, facts.
It's a new channel, so make sure you go and follow them, subscribe to them, show them some love, support them. They went to the nitty gritty. They went to the gutter.
Wasn't playing.
Okay.
At all.
And of course, being that this is an American perspective.
Facts.
There was a lot that was a little different, you know, from our viewpoint, but that's what's great about cultures.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.